Hey everyone, and welcome to our film studies series, where we break down scenes from films and discuss the techniques that were used. In this video, we're going to be covering continuity editing, and we're going to be looking at a few techniques used in order to achieve continuity editing in films. First, let's start with the definition. Continuity editing is a tool that is used to join multiple shots together in a way that keeps the time and physical space consistent and logical. A good question to ask is, does this sequence of shots make sense? The reason for using continuity editing is to ensure that the audience can understand the story and scene even when edits need to be made. So let's take a look at a few techniques that filmmakers use when editing. First, let's start off with the match on action. This technique allows filmmakers to switch to another shot in order to get a different view or angle, but continue the action of the initial shot. In this example, from National Treasure: Book of Secrets, the characters are moving through multiple walkways and doors. You'll notice that each time the camera cuts, the action from the initial shot is continued in the next shot. This is a match on action. Next up is the eyeline match. When a character looks off screen and the following shot shows what they are looking at, this is called an eyeline match. This is used to create importance around an object or character. In this scene from Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne looks off screen, indicating an object of importance. The next shot reveals that this object is the Tumbler, the vehicle that would become the Batmobile. Moving on, we have the graphic match. A graphic match is used as a transition effect between scenes when an object or objects from the first shot in the new scene look similar in shape to the final shot in the previous scene. A graphic match transition is usually a good indicator that the setting or location has changed. This moment from The Lion King shows our three characters change locations and shows the passage of time while keeping everything in the frame roughly the same shape. Next up, we have the 180-degree rule. In order to avoid confusion in terms of physical space in a scene, an imaginary straight line is placed on the ground in front of two or more characters. This imaginary line, which has an angle of 180 degrees, acts as a guide for the camera. In order to keep a consistent left side and right side relationship between the characters on screen, the camera should never pass this line. If this rule is followed, you will never see characters switch sides in a shot unless the character physically moves to that side. This scene from Pulp Fiction is one of the best examples of the 180-degree rule. Notice how our characters have their individual spaces. Mia on the left, and Vincent on the right, with a straight line being placed here. Even during close-up shots in this scene, the camera never passes this line. There are times when this rule can be broken. In this scene from Inglourious Basterds, the camera passes over the invisible line and the characters change positions. This breaking of the 180-degree rule can be used to signify a change in tone or topic in a scene. A technique that is related to the 180-degree rule is the shot reverse shot. This is most commonly used when characters are having a conversation. Usually done with an over-the-shoulder shot, when one character is speaking, the camera will be on them. Instead of panning back to the other character when it's time for them to speak, the scene will cut to an over-the-shoulder shot and focus on them. And when it's time for the first character to reply, another cut to another over-the-shoulder shot will occur. Remember, it's important to keep the angle and location of each shot consistent when using the technique, since we shouldn't be breaking the 180-degree rule. And finally, we have the elliptical edit, or as I like to call it, the time saver. This method is used to condense long sequences of clips that are not necessary to the overall narrative. In this traveling sequence in The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, we see our characters in many different locations, showing the passage of time, and finally, their destination for the moment. Instead of seeing them travel in real time, the sequence is condensed to only what's necessary to show. Of course, the elliptical edit is not always used, but with good reason. In this scene from The Godfather, Tom Hagen is traveling to LA to meet a movie producer. Instead of using an elliptical edit, we see a long sequence filled with establishing shots and shots of Tom wandering around the studio. This was perhaps done in order to show Tom in an unusual environment and give context for what's to come. Thank you all for watching, and remember, you can catch our main show, Nobody's Listening to This Movie Podcast, every Friday on all podcast platforms, so don't miss it. If you like this video, please feel free to leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike, no problem. And comment down below what other scenes or techniques you'd like for us to break down. Until next time, thanks for watching.